Last but not the least, we are moving on to the last topic of your acid bases and oxides. वो क्या है आपके पास? टाइप ऑफ ऑक्साइड्स. अब हमारे पास दो किस्म के ऑक्साइड्स होते हैं. One of them are known as acidic oxides and the other type is known as basic oxides. जो acidic oxides होते हैं, they are made up of non-metals. Can you give me an example of non-metals?
Um, Nitrogen.
Exactly, nitrogen. तो non-metal oxide क्या होंगे? NO2, SO2. ये क्या है? These are acidic oxides. Basic oxides जो होते हैं, they are mostly made up of metals. Can you give me any example of metal oxides?
Magnesium.
Exactly. Good job. Magnesium oxide, sodium oxide, calcium oxide. ये सारे क्या होंगे? They are all going to be basic oxides. So remember, all acidic oxides are made up of non-metal and all basic oxides are made up of metals. Acid and basic oxides have different properties and values of pH. The difference in their pH stems from whether they are bonded to a metal or a non-metal element. The metallic character of the element influences the acidic or alkalinic behavior of the molecule. Now, जो basic oxides होते हैं, they are mostly made up of metals, and the acidic oxides are made up of mostly the non-metals. So what are acidic oxides? Acidic oxides are formed when a non-metal element combines with oxygen. They react with bases to form salt and water, and when dissolved in water, they produce an acidic solution. So क्या होते हैं acidic oxides? Number one, they are formed from a non-metal element. Number two, when they react with bases, for example, if an acidic oxide will react with a base, what will it produce? Salt and water. And when they are dissolved in water, they are going to produce H plus ions and they will also have a low pH. Just you told me, जैसे कि common examples include NO2 as well, like you told me. Exactly, that's a very great example. Moreover, sulfur dioxide, silicon dioxide, ये सारे क्या हैं? Non-metals हैं, and they make up acidic oxides. Basic oxides क्या होते हैं? They are formed when a metal element combines with an oxygen. जब एक metal element combine करता है oxygen के साथ, they produce basic oxides. अब इसकी property क्या है? Number one, they are made up of metals. Number two, they react with acids. अब जो basic oxides होंगे, when they react with acids, they are also going to produce what? Salt plus water. Moreover, when they are dissolved, they produce a basic solution. They might produce OH ions and they would have a high pH. For example, sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, and calcium hydroxide. Got it? Clear?
Yes.
So what are neutral oxides? Neutral oxides, can you tell me what would be the pH of neutral oxides?
7.
7. Well done. You're excellent today. So some oxides do not react with either acids or bases and thus are said to be neutral. For example, N2O, NO, and carbon monoxide. ये आपके पास तीन examples. These are some three examples for neutral oxides. Amphoteric क्या होते हैं? Amphoteric are the oxides which have both acidic character as well and they act as bases as well. Both mix. इसकी examples आपने याद रखनी, three examples: aluminium oxide, lead oxide PbO, and zinc oxide ZnO. Only these three are known as amphoteric oxides. They are a curious group of oxides that can behave as both acidic and bases, depending on whether the other reactant is an acid or a base. In both cases, a salt and water is formed. Two most common amphoteric oxides are zinc oxide and aluminium oxide. These are the examples. अब ये क्या करेंगे? They can also act as acid and they can also act as base. The hydroxides of both of these elements also behave amphoterically. अगर Al2OH होगा या PbOH होगा या ZnOH होगा, they would be also acting as amphoteric oxide. Now look at this. Aluminium oxide is an amphoteric oxide. Aluminium oxide is also reacting with an acid, and it is also reacting with a base. When it reacts with a base, Al2O3 would act as an acidic oxide. And when it is reacting with an acid, Al2O3 would act as a basic oxide. It depends on the reaction. अगर हम उस Al2O3 amphoteric को एसिड के साथ रिएक्ट करवाएंगे, it would behave as a base. And if we react Al2O3 amphoteric oxide with an base, it would behave as an acid, depending on the reaction. Acid के साथ react करवाएंगे, it would become a basic oxide. Base के साथ react करवाएंगे, it would act as an acidic oxide because it is known as an amphoteric oxide. It has both the properties. Got it?
Okay.
Good. And this is the end of the chapter of acid, bases, and oxide.